About Miguel Cotto, there's a rumor that that fight was offered to Kell Brook. What's your advice to Kell Brook for, I guess, landing one of those big fights? And
I think Kell Brook is the only advice I'm giving is, look, take these advice, man. Take these big fights that you need to take. Look, man, you're upsetting all your fans and you're upsetting all the people. You need to get in there with some big names. And I think that he just ruined his own career by not facing. I mean, Kell Brook was offered the fight against Miguel Cotto. Is that true? Any truth in that?
I heard that was offered. HBO wanted it.
Oh, right. So, and who turned it down?
It's controversial. No one's claiming it.
Man, if that was me, I'd take it in a heartbeat, man.
Oh yeah, you asked for the Cotto fight.
I asked for the Cotto fight, man. Well, yeah, I mean, look.
Speaking of Kell, his mandatory is actually Earl Spence Jr. So he's been kind of the king of fighting mandatories. Guys like Jojo Dan, Kevin Bezier. What do you think of that? Kell Brook versus Earl Spence Jr. Is that a good fight for him?
That's a good fight. I think that could be the first mandatory he doesn't take. If he's a Mr. Mandatory, he should take that fight.
I think he's got a fight in the limit.
Amir, Khan, and Kell Brook, do you want to see it? What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego in the back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest in boxing and fighting. Some opinions, some graphics. Now, some of you guys asked me my thoughts on the fight. It's still a decent fight, but I'm not as thrilled with it, and I'll explain. And I've maintained the same thoughts on this particular fight. Yes, it's for bragging rights. Yes, it's a big size fight, especially domestic in the UK. But I don't like the ripple in the pond effect created by both fighters. And what I mean by that is 2016, oh, Happy New Year to everybody too. But 2016, both of these guys, Khan and Kell Brook, dared to be great. And they changed the algorithm, created the ripple in the pond by not fighting each other or other top welterweights, but instead fighting against bigger guys, strong guys, divisions higher, 1.5 to 2 divisions higher than welterweight. And they both lost, and they both lost via stoppage. Obviously, Amir Khan's stoppage is more brutal to the eye, but speaking of eye, like, Kell Brooks was pretty bad just based on the fact that he got injured. You know what I mean? He didn't get knocked down. He was on his feet. He held his own in spots, so obviously it's not as bad as getting knocked out, you know what I mean, like sleep with your eyes open. But it was still bad in the sense that he was injured during it. And it's crazy that only in the world of boxing do we see this. Instead of like the championship game, like you look at basketball or something. Last year, the Golden State Warriors played the Cavs. Golden State Warriors had the best record in the league. The Cavs have LeBron and, you know what I mean, phenomenal team. Their players weren't injured, and we get to see the best versus the best. But boxing doesn't have one governing body. They just kind of do whatever they want. So it's like having a team like the Raptors or the Bucks or somebody who's not even doing as good, and then the Raptors advance all the way to the playoff game to play the Warriors, and then the Bucks play the Cavs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's out of sequence and out of order. Like, the whole goal is to see who's the best in each particular division. And if you haven't cleaned out your division, I told you guys, I made videos about 7 reasons why Amir Khan and Canelo should not happen next. And I even made this about the daring to be great. Whole long videos about this. And most people expected it, so I can't even take full credit, like, oh, I'm the only one. Everybody pretty much didn't give either welterweight a shot up there. You know what I mean? Some people did, but they didn't really outline what they were going to do. And even if they did give them credit, it doesn't matter, because guess what? They were wrong. So I think they're both quality fighters at welterweight, and they should have never changed divisions temporarily. Because if you guys follow the sport, you'll notice that both guys in the build-up to their daring to be great fights, moving up in weight, said one thing, and after they lost, that immediately changed, and they kind of went back on their word. Kell Brook was like, oh, I was killing myself to make welterweight. I can't even eat like I want to, and you don't know what I had to do. I was Christian Bale and the Machinist, and like all this stuff about how he couldn't make weight and he feels so good and so much better. then why are you talking about fighting Khan or possibly Errol Spence or whoever at welterweight? If it was all that, you know what I'm saying? If it was like a concentration camp trying to, you know what I mean, make weight, and I'm not trying to disrespect, I'm just saying, like, if it was that grueling to you to make weight, then how come you're going back or even considering an Amir Khan fight? You should be like, man, Amir Khan already said, I'm not fighting you above 147. He already said that. He said, I'm not going to 54, 55 or nothing like that. So if he wants to fight me, it's at welterweight, at the regular welterweight, right? Same thing with Khan. Before the fight, Khan's like, oh, I feel big, I feel strong. You know what I mean? And then he gets knocked out by Canelo, and then he's like, hey, middleweight's not my thing. You know what I mean? He moves back down. So, I don't know, man. It just, the fight, I don't want to see, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see it with the same intensity and desire that I had at one point. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a Brandon Rios versus Victor Ortiz. You know what I mean? Both guys lost their last fight via stoppage, if I'm not mistaken. Brandon Rios got stopped for the first time in his career to Tim Bradley, a guy who's not even known for a notorious punch. You know what I mean? He was Rios out of shape, couldn't handle the body shots or whatever, got stopped. Victor Ortiz in his rematch with Berto, I covered that fight live. He got stopped, knocked out, nasty uppercut. I think I have that on tape, like on my Snapchat, or I had it on my Snapchat and saved the video. But now they're fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I want to see it, but I don't want to see it the same way I wanted to see it before Rios got stopped, before Ortiz took another knockout loss. And that's really how I feel about the Kell Brook fight with Amir Khan. And it just, those knockout losses, like, I don't even know, it's just it's a different dynamic now. You know what I mean? Khan got knocked out bad. So I don't know where his confidence is. I mean, he sounds pretty confident in interviews. He's been knocked out before. But still, you know what I mean? There's only so many times that people can keep doing this. We've seen Ronda Rousey, and I'm not saying this is a Amir Khan situation because I don't know his deal. I'm not in his camp or anything like that. But she clearly did not look like the same confident fighter going into the Amanda Nunes fight. And I told you guys that before the fight. I said, Amanda Nunes is dangerous, you know what I mean? And they should have took a tune-up, things like that. And you've seen Ronda Rousey, she was getting tagged. And she looked shell-shocked. She was like, bink, bink. She looked like a goddamn pinball machine. You know what I'm saying? Just getting hit, flush. Like, you're not even gonna try to take her down or like clinch harder, like a better clinch, things like that. So I don't really know. You know what I mean? Not everyone, people always bring, oh, but Pacquiao, he had been stopped twice. Pacquiao is Pacquiao. You know what I mean? Pacquiao also holds the record for moving up the most divisions in boxing history, 8 divisions. So you can't really put anybody else in the same class as like a known anomaly, because if that was the case, then, you know what I mean, Pacquiao moved up all these divisions, fought bigger guys, fought these names and beat them up. You know what I mean? So Pacquiao's Pacquiao, plus his losses were like earlier in his career, and the first two, like in the Philippines or whatever, were kind of close to each other, and then things had changed, and then that's when he started coming into his own or whatever, and beating the guys like Barrera and Morales and De La Hoya and stuff. So like, I wouldn't even consider that, or even the Marquez knockout. I mean, because to me, Pacquiao has not looked as sharp. He looked really sharp in the Marquez 4 fight. You know what I mean? After he got knocked down, he was getting to Marquez. But when's the last time you seen him look quite that sharp? You know what I'm saying? Versus Mayweather, he looked like shit unless you were watching the fight in slow motion, 60 frames per second, while eating Sour Patch Kids and like what all the other dumb stuff y'all was telling me. You gotta get a Viewmaster and an Etch-a-Sketch, and then you have to get really drunk, right? Just listen. I'm gonna tell you. So, you take some boons, and you take peppermint schnapps, get really drunk, right? Then you watch the Pacquiao fight, right? And you'll notice he was landing more. CompuBox hates Pacquiao. So, they're not gonna count the punches, but I counted them in slow mo. You know what I mean? I'm not doing all that, man. I know how to watch a damn fight in regular motion. So, back to the Kell Brook Amir Khan fight. I'm just like, It's just kind of like Rios Ortiz. Solid fight. I'm sure it'll have a good build up. I'm sure everyone's gonna watch it. But coming off those knockouts, you know what I mean? Same thing with Kell Brook. You just got your eye bashed out. You know what I mean? I'm not, God forbid, I would never wish injury on somebody, but Margarito's eye never recovered from Pacquiao. And Pacquiao was a little dude. Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? Pacquiao, we all know Pacquiao got that thump. Pause. Pacquiao got snapped to his punches, but I mean, in comparison, he moved up for Margarito, and he was the one that was much smaller than Margarito, and he still did all that. Kell Brook went up 2 divisions and faced a guy who middleweights can't even take his power, and he stopped like 23 middleweights in a row or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know the everlasting effects of stuff like that. Now Amir Khan is saying that, oh, he's going to lose respect for Kell if he doesn't fight Errol Spence Jr. And that's another thing. That's a danger. Like Errol Spence, he hasn't lost, and he looks very destructive. I'm not saying Kell Brook can't win the fight, but again, we don't know what his eye is like, his confidence is like, what his weight is like right now. You know what I mean? Because all that type of stuff matters. If Errol Spence has never lost and no one's showed him how to lose yet as a professional, he has good momentum, beat guys like Algieri and Bundu better than the notable names that were facing them before, like the Pacquiaos, the Ruslan, and Amir Khan, and guys like Keith Thurman and stuff. So he has the confidence right now. So we don't know who's going to win that fight. So if what Amir Khan is saying is true, I'll lose respect for him and all that, and Kell Brook does fight his mandatory, which I want to see. What if he loses that fight? Then we're gonna see Kell Brook take 2 losses, 2 career losses, then fight Amir Khan. So it just, the whole daring to be great messed all of this up, and I've been consistent on this whole issue, and the jumping up made no sense. It was a cool, quick payday. You got a lot of money, but then now your career has definitely been altered. It's like, this is going to be a weird comparison, but some of y'all might be able to relate if you have facial hair. Pause. Have you ever been like let's say you're about to go out and you're like trimming your beard, like you get the clippers or whatever, you're trimming it, and there's been times where I'm in the mirror, in the bathroom mirror, like zzz, zzz, you know what I mean, had the Andes clippers and stuff like that, and I'm trying to get it so perfect that I keep at it, like zzz, 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 and keep chipping away at it, you know what I'm saying? And then before you know it, it's like, oh shit, this side's uneven, you know what I mean, my goatee or whatever, oh fuck. Then you try to fix it, and you take some off the other side. Then you take some off the other side, and then before you know it, you fuck around and looking like Adolf Hitler and shit, and your mustache is all fucked up. You're like, damn, I gotta shave everything now. I done fucked the goatee or the mustache up. You know what I mean? Like, I look like Inglourious Bastards. 99999. Looking like Hitler and shit. You know what I mean? And the reason I use that analogy is because that's what these fighters did to me. They kept at it, and you know what I mean? You did something, got a cool, quick payday versus Golovkin versus Canelo. But in the process, you also demolished other fights that were very good. I mean, even the Errol Spence Jr., I still want to see it because I want to see Errol Spence Jr. get his shot, and it's a good matchup because they're about both big welterweights and stuff like that. But it still doesn't excite me as much as when they were both undefeated. Like Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, great fight. Neither guy has taken a professional loss on the record. You can say, oh, Herrera, he didn't lose that fight according to the judges, and it doesn't show on his resume. You know what I'm saying? So it's still 2 undefeated fighters. Somebody, gotta go. Keith Thurman and Errol Spence could have been that same thing instead of another undefeated fighter 2 divisions higher in Golovkin. So it's just all messed up now to me. And I'm not trying to pout or be mad. It just is what it is. I'm just giving you my honest feelings. It's a fight I'll still watch, but it does not hold the same weight or merit because, like, look at it. Amir Khan just got knocked out bad by Canelo. If Kell Brook went in there and knocked him out again, you could be like, okay, Bradis Prescott knocked him out. Danny Garcia, Canelo all knocked him out. Julio Diaz knocked him down. Now Kell Brook. I mean, how much credit are you? I mean, I know how boxing fans work. People would be like, oh, whatever. Canelo softened him up. He's coming off a bad knockout and he didn't recover. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Kell Brook. If Khan goes out there and starts blitzing him, then people are like, oh, his eye is because the Golovkin punishment. You know what I'm saying? It just, you give people an excuse or a scapegoat to not give you full credit because of the poor career decisions that their team made in terms of jumping up all that weight. That's just my honest opinion. But if it happens, it happens. I'll report about it. I'll watch it. But I'm not as excited as I once was. Like I said, similar to Ortiz Rios for obvious reasons. Let me know what you guys think. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.